has made it possible for us to see the month of February and coming to the end of it and entering into another month of March. We pray the Most High God to descend in your majestic power and mighty valor to go before each and every one of IPOB family members, individually and collectively, to continue to incapacitate our enemies, to level the potholes that the enemies of ours have indeed dug for us, and make that a graveyard for them. You shall indeed continue to push them to their limits. May their camps be desolate. May this month of March be the most successful month ever for us, the most progressive month ever for us, the most successful month ever for us, the most hitch-free ever month for us. That in the end, not only that we progress and conquer and remain victorious, but that your name will be glorified in our lives. Do this for us now and give us victory and take the glory. To this we say amen and amen and amen. He say. My name is Uche Mefor. I am the deputy leader of Indigenous People of Biafra from Abatete. Abatete is in Idemili is in Omambra is in Biafra land. I am here this evening, standing on this platform ordained by heaven, the Most High God, to interact with eminent Biafrans, hardcore, dedicated, truthful men, women, and children around the world. Men and women of goodwill and of integrity and of good conscience. That we shall reflect on the journey so far, on this precision effort, and of course take stock and continue to indeed make a choice that is before us. We urge you, eminent Biafrans, wherever you are, to remain focused and resolute. I appreciate especially our family members in Biafra land, in different parts of the world, our principal servants who have served diligently since the beginning of time until this time. We shall continue to do everything we do in the spirit of truth, camaraderie, comradeship, in the spirit of togetherness. And wherever you see, and wherever we see evil, we shall indeed confront it by all means and without any equivocation. There are enemies within and outside IPOB. They are rearing their ugly heads every time. But you know what? That we are where we are today is because people kept quiet. People kept quiet. People swallowed every rubbish that come their way. That is the reason why we are where we are today. And it appears that those who are going about without conscience don't appreciate that. And today we are going to indeed make some important revelations and take a stand on issues that are confronting us as a people. And from there, of course, take our important and individual decisions. Once again, I welcome you to this all-important evening interaction. A very short one is going to be, and of course after that we take stock. This is Indigenous People of Biafra, led by Mazi Kanu. This is a family of Biafrans, both in Biafra land and all over the world. When this family, IPOB, was instituted around Of course, officially, around 2012-2013, we vowed across board to remain resolute, to continue to do whatever it takes in truth and honesty. My apologies. It appeared that we were rudely interrupted somewhere along the line and we will have to continue. And I was trying to say that this IPOB, Indigenous People of Biafra, when initially it was established and instituted around 2012-2013, a lot of people kicked against it. A lot of people dismissed the idea behind it. But we also vowed that we are going about this restoration effort under the platform of IPOB in truth, under the principle of truth, irreducible principle that binds every conscientious man and woman around the world, more importantly Biafrans. The principle of truth. And this principle of truth was kept vibrant by the whiter and whiter and whiter than snow mantle. It was kept intact by our whiter than white and whiter than snow mantra. Eziokwu bụ ndụ. Onye agha na nwanne, onye na chie. We professed all these, and that was what we were known with. But today, several years later and after, the question we need to be asking ourselves is, are we living up to it? Are we living up to that sincere, solemn commitment that we made to ourselves and to the memories of those who actually have paid the ultimate price that we may have our freedom? This is an individual question that requires individual answer. Are we actually living up to that expectation, or what is expected of us? There are certain salient points I need to make known, and for people to understand and appreciate my own very stand on it, because it appears that there are some misconceptions somewhere. The principle of command and control was and still remains a good principle, but this principle has been bastardized by some daring and desperate individuals and groups and cabals and gangs in IPOB. Sectionalism is the order of the day. Religious bigotry is the order of the day. I have made my opposition to this in both private and in the open, and I commit myself to it, and I will continue to stand against it. Very important. Today, some people who belong to certain religious belief or group will come on air on our media platforms and continue to lord it over everybody, knowing fully well that Biafran communities are made up of multicultural, multi-religious, multi-faith population. And the question we are asking is, why is it that some individuals are lording it over others to believe, to jettison their own religious belief and follow something else that is alien to them? This is to such an extent that some individuals in this IPOB that the Most High God has ordained have constituted themselves as be it and be all. They regard themselves as hardcore Biafrans chosen by the Most High God, and then others are outcasts. This we have tried to bring to the attention of everyone in a most friendly way, in a most cordial way. But some individuals, some groups, some cabals are actually bent on imposing certain beliefs of theirs on others. For avoidance of doubt, indigenous people of Biafran communities are made up of 90 to 95% Christians. But today, it is a different thing altogether, that these majority are silenced, and our media platforms have become an avenue through which religious bigotry is practiced, religious hate is practiced, and we are saying that we are running away from the zoo called Nigeria. We are saying that we are running away from the contraption called Nigeria. I know, of course, that on this broadcast, certain elements have tried to switch off our radio, but of course we will have to go on. These broadcasts will continue to go on as expected, and after that it has to be shared. Very important. Very important. This is a repeat of what happened in 2015. It is being carried on by some individuals and cabals. These are the people that I personally stood against because they wanted to destroy IPOB. There are still remnants of them in IPOB, and truth must be told at this particular point in time, that people will understand what the issues are. There are people who are occupying our media platforms and preaching all manner of things and telling you that you are an idol worshiper and all that, condemning you literally, whether you like it or not. And the majority of peaceful Christian population have kept quiet. Today I am telling you that you don't need to keep quiet over anything, because Biafra belongs to you as well. Radio Biafra platform is not a platform for religious bigotry or religious hate. IPOB platform is not a platform for religious bigotry or religious hate. If anybody castigates you unfairly, if anybody castigates your own religious belief unjustly, give that person that back. Give it back to the person. Because at the end of the day, every human being almost is a dustbin. You just like a dustbin. This is something that has eaten deep into the bone marrow and the system and psyche of a number of people on the platform of IPOB, all in the name that we are looking for Biafra restoration. And today, I want to make it abundantly clear that I am not for that, and I have been, as much as I can, at the forefront of making sure that there is equitable platform for everyone. Biafra is going to be a secular state. Anything outside that is unacceptable, and the people of Biafra will decide. Very important. You need to understand that. People should understand what this is. Radio Biafra platform is not. Biafra television platform is not. IPOB platform is not a platform or platforms for religious bigotry and religious hate speeches. And nobody has, or no group of people have, monopoly of insult. If anybody castigates or talks down on you on account of your faith, give it back to that person. Very important. There are a number of people who are forming cabals in IPOB that the rules, unwritten rules that we have in IPOB does not apply to them, but it applies to others. As a result of this, a lot of people have been victimized unfairly. From Biafra land to different parts of the world, this is going on. And this is with tacit support of some high-ranking principal officers. And this must not continue for avoidance of doubt. Because it appears that every genuine effort made to stop this is almost in vain. I am asking you, you individual IPOB family members, you Biafrans, stand up and fight injustice wherever you see it in IPOB, anywhere in Biafra land. Because you have equal stake on what we are doing. This Biafra is not for some people, and it is not for such people to be lording it over others. There is no perfect religion on this planet Earth, and there is no perfect human being, and nobody or group of people are gods. We are all children of circumstance. As far as religious belief is concerned, and as long as you are identifying with any particular religious belief, we are all praying to one God. As long as you are okay with the way, the method you are worshiping your God, as long as You are not trampling on the right of others. As long as you are applying the golden rule, nobody has the monopoly of telling you how you worship your God. If you do that, you are done for. It is not done. This is part of fundamental human rights. We are running away from Boko Haram terrorists. We are running away from the zoo called Nigeria, and we are perpetuating the worst of it in Biafra. It cannot happen. It cannot happen. And IPOB cannot continue to be a platform for all this evil. I am asking you, wherever you are today, if you are victimized for one reason or the other, dust yourself and pick up courage, because you're also a human being. There are some cabals in IPOB in Biafra land who have gone around. They have been inflicting injuries, grievous bodily injuries on individuals, even elderly men and women. These people have been silenced for no just cause. And I ask a question: if anybody molests your mother or your father simply because they are identifying with Biafra Restoration Project, and not only that, they are inflicted with grievous bodily injuries and harm, how are you going to feel? There are a number of things that have happened in the last few months, if not almost a year, across Biafra land. People are beaten, and I have asked questions, and I wanted justice to be done on behalf of these people. Who are these people who have taken the law into their hands to be beating and molesting our parents? Who are these people? Who are these people, I ask? I have asked questions, and I have made it clear. Giving a fair and equitable platform for them to air their views. But it appears to me that this thing has been covered up, and I'm urging these people to come out and say to the public who was responsible to this and why that happened. This evil cannot be perpetuated in Biafra land. This evil must stop. I repeat, there are victims across board in Biafra land. When there some of these things, when it happens, the name you'll be hearing is Uche Mefor. Uche Mefor did this, Uche Mefor did this, Uche Mefor. I want to tell you that I have no knowledge of what happened to you, please, for avoidance of doubt. As a matter of fact, I have been doing everything humanly possible to make sure that the truth is unraveled. We must stop these nefarious practices. And anybody who has been injured, anybody who has been ill treated, anybody who have been molested has the right to air his or her view, and those who are behind it must indeed be exposed. I hope that the people concerned are listening. If they are not listening because I have been told that some of them there is a conscious effort to switch off our radio, and if they are switching off the radio, that's okay. This is not new, and this information is going to get to every nook and cranny of Biafra land and around the world. We have rules in IPOB, unwritten rules most times, but these rules are being applied indiscriminately. There are those whose rules these rules are meant for, and there are those whose those rules are not meant for. It is bended when it comes to certain individuals and groups. And I want to say this. On several occasions, I have taken decision in my capacity as the deputy leader of IPOB. And on several occasions, those instructions, those actions, those decisions were reversed. I don't need to give more instances. But this thing is rearing its ugly head again, and I want to make it abundantly clear that it is no longer business as usual. Simple as that. The rules that we have in IPOB cannot be for some people and cannot be hijacked by some group or cabals who are festering their own interests. It has to be applied across board for avoidance of doubt. The Directorate of State of Indigenous People of Biafra is a directorate headed by the head of directorate, made up of continental reps and some principal officers, some unofficial. I sit there to observe what is going on, but I am not under DOS for avoidance of doubt, and this is a very direct information to those who have been erroneously, consciously and erroneously propagating this. If the structure of IPOB is to be what it is, then we need to imbibe the ethics and responsible way of running a movement or an organization. It cannot be jumbo mumbo or whatever it is called. These cabals in IPOB appears to be very formidable, and they are very good in propagating lies against individuals and groups, and even against myself. And I'm saying it here that this must stop, and it cannot continue. And it is going to stop as well where other people are. Because there are people who don't have what it takes to speak. They cannot speak for themselves. These people are being trampled upon. These Biafra restoration efforts must be fought on the principle of equality, human rights and social justice. Anything outside this is deception, for avoidance of doubt. If I come up tomorrow and begin to tell you strange things outside what I'm saying, then hold me to account. The national coordinators, the principal officers of IPOB are the units, are the zonal, are the states, are the national, or the continental level, at every level of IPOB are principal officers representing Biafra and not an individual or a group of people. This is very important that people understand the direction we are going. Every principal officer is representing Biafra. And you must do everything humanly possible to do whatever is required of you. For men, women, and children have paid the ultimate price. And Biafra we are looking for belongs to all clans in Biafra land, not only for Igbos, for avoidance of doubt. We have made efforts and we are continuing to make efforts to call upon those Biafrans from different parts of Biafra land, especially in the coastal regions, to stand up and take their position. We are facing existential threat everywhere, both religious, ethnic, and otherwise. And we must stand together as one people. We must stand together as one people of God to fight and defeat our enemies. We must not be running away from the contraption called Nigeria, and at the same time putting up conduct that is worse than those in the zoo called Nigeria. Like I said before, the foundation of religious hate was instituted some time ago, and it appears that it is not on the ebb. People must stand up and resist that. For avoidance of doubt, Biafra is a secular state. Anything outside this is counterproductive. My office as the deputy leader of IPOB has been the most abused in the history of this global family, and it is on record, and I don't know the reason why, but it is happening. But it is not as if I am sleeping. It is because I want this registration effort to continue to move on, to continue to go as expected. It is because I want this registration effort to be completed. But this time around, it appears that the perpetrators are actually very much intensifying their efforts, not minding whatever it takes. I am saying, and of course I know, that heaven and earth are bearing us witness that these can no longer continue. For avoidance of doubt, there are these cabals from different places, but from different particular parts. They're everywhere around the world. They have made it abundantly clear that my office will continue to be abused. And it has continued in public glare. There is one such issue here in the United Kingdom. I have taken action because it appears that the so-called principal officer involved, that is supposed to do the needful, did not do, from the continental rep to the last level. and I have taken action, and that action I've taken remains until it is satisfactorily resolved. And any attempt to solve this issue through the back door will be met with stiffest opposition. For avoidance of doubt, I want to repeat that I have, as Deputy Leader of Indigenous People of Biafra, right to take action anywhere around the world where IPOB family is. Just like the unit coordinators, the national coordinators, the coordinator reps are taking action. And of course the leadership of IPOB is taking action. Rules we have in IPOB cannot be applied, I repeat, indiscriminately and inconsistently or through a kangaroo manner. The principle of social justice, the principle of equity and justice, the principle of equity and fairness, as you say, must be the order of the day in IPOB, in this Biafra Restoration project. Otherwise, we are hallucinating and we are making mockery of ourselves. It is very important that our rules are written in black and white so that abuse of it will, of course, not be very, very easy for those who are used to it. Some people are waiting and somehow to begin to clap. This IPOB, this indigenous people of Biafra, is ours, and we must fight injustice wherever we see it, within and around it. And this is the beginning of it. This is just the beginning of it. The principle of command and control has been bastardized, I repeat, and we must have to get it right. Some people cannot be favored by it, and others will become victims. Or rules applied today in this particular aspect, the other day the other rules are applying to it differently. That cannot continue. And I urge each and one of you to stand firm that justice is done to all. Anybody who has been unfairly treated in IPOB has the right to open up. Do not keep it to yourself. Because I've seen places where people's complaints are trampled upon and put in rubbish bin. They cannot continue. You have the right as the victim to stand up and say what happened to you. And I am here to fight it for avoidance of doubt. I have made one or two important references. I don't need to go into so much details. I have done one or two important My apologies, I didn't know that my voice was not coming up. Reign supreme in IPOB, otherwise we are deceiving ourselves. And cabals in IPOB must be confronted wherever they are. Those who are going about molesting, beating up elderly men, even young men and women, all in the name of being in position, must be challenged. It's simple as that. And you don't have to keep quiet over it. All of you who are victims must stand up, because justice has to be done. This will be a follow-up presentation, and on this note I will want to temporarily sign off. But there are so much on our shoulders. We ask the Most High God to continue to renew us, to continue to revive us, and more importantly, may He give us every enablement to restore Biafra. From me, from here, this is Uche Mefor at this particular point in time, sign off. Thank you very much. Good night and God bless.